guys? Welcome back to another TheSportUniverse Reacts. So we're going to talk about the Knicks, what happened last night, how they move forward, what their plan should be for the rest of the season. I'm pretty sure you could figure out what I'm going to say, but I'll just do it anyway. So, last night they lost by 20 to the Grizzlies. A fight broke out. The fans started a chant to sell the team. Marcus Morris said Jay Crowder was womanlike as a way to degrade him, which degraded women. And apparently the Grizzlies didn't have hot water in their showers. So I don't know where we want to start there, but I guess we'll start with the selling the team chants. So selling team chants, obviously, they were not playing well, lost by 20. And Madison Square Garden started playing this, like, I'm sure, like, it happens all the time, but, like, Madison Square Garden started playing this upbeat music to try and, like, silence out the fans, and you never really think about, like, the dynamic of that, but that's kind of funny. Then the fight breaks out because Crowder shot a three in, like, the last minute or something, and the Knicks were already down by 18. So a fight broke out, leading to Marcus Morris after the game saying he has women-like traits or some feature. I don't know what it was. And then Marcus Morris says said later on, when there was obviously backlash to that, he loves women and like supports what they do for the society. And yeah, you gotta say that, like, you're not gonna come out and say, oh yeah, I don't like women, but it's just so stupid, and like their mentality, like, they don't understand how society's going at this point, and that's just not right to say. It's never really been right to say, but now it's even less good to say. Obviously, it's not going well for the Knicks right now. However, they're only, I think it's 8.5 games back of the 8th seed, so they're one run away from being right back in the playoff race, and that's an optimistic point of view. But, like, I think last night for me was, like, the last straw, and, like, it finally puts to rest in my eyes, like, what the future should be for the Knicks of this season. Like, it's always fun as a fan to root for your team possibly make the playoffs, like, root for that late playoff run. But for the Knicks, there's literally no reason. They'll squeak into the playoffs, if anything, further putting back their rebuild that's inevitable and needs to happen. That should have happened. That should have been done probably this year if they had kept with Kristaps. But I'll get into that. It's just going to delay the inevitable rebuild, make it take another year. I mean, looking down the road, I don't know when the rebuild's going to be done, because in my eyes, they need a complete rebuild, but I need to hold off on that. There's no reason that their viewpoint going into the trading deadline should be to trade for veterans or trade for players that they're going to have to trade their young pieces for to get more talent to possibly make the 8th seed. There's literally no reason for that. It's not like they're going to win a championship. It's not like they're, in my eyes, going to win an actual game in round one. That's getting way ahead of myself. What I'm trying to say is, for Knicks fans, I don't want to be like that pessimistic person that's like saying tank, like, oh, it's time to tank, because it's never fun to root for that. But at this point, I'm usually like an optimistic fan. At this point, you see the dysfunction in this team, in this organization. I don't even want to call them an organization anymore, because they're nowhere close to organized. So you can join me with completing that trend of not calling the Knicks an organization. But it's just putting them further into no man's land. I mean, if you look at the team, they're halfway in between a rebuild, halfway in between a win now mode, which is the worst place to be, in my opinion. There's no direction. There's no direction in the team. I mean, and that really all lies on James Dolan, his way of ownership. It's obvious that he likes to win, and look, that's a good thing, but at certain points you need to be patient, and you see time and again his patience wear off. They were almost to a complete rebuild, but with Kristaps. But James Dolan saw what Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving could do for the Knicks, and that would help him get the Knicks to a place of championship caliber team quicker than the rebuild would be. They risked it, missed out on Kyrie Irving and KD, putting them far behind the 8 ball because they don't have Kristaps anymore, they don't have a star, they don't have a young star. They have a bunch of young pieces that need to really prove themselves to get them close to a winning team again. And when that didn't happen, James Dolan got impatient, fired David Fizdale, which, I mean, is a controversial thing. Should he have fired? Should he have not? In my opinion, I think David Fizdale would have done a good job if James Dolan wasn't the owner. James Dolan put a lot of pressure on him. I don't have some insider point of view on this, but he put a lot of pressure on him, in my opinion, to win now, which made him have to play these players like Marcus Morris, Taj Gibson, who are good players, but not when you're trying to rebuild your franchise. And I think Mike Miller's done a better job of that, but it's still not anywhere close to what it should be. And the front office could really push that envelope of getting the young players to get minutes if they traded Taj Gibson, Marcus Morris, which I think their goal should be in the trade deadline, and I feel like they are going to be that. I feel like it's the perfect opportunity to stock up on some picks. Marcus Morris will definitely get you a first-round pick the way he's been playing this season. Taj Gibson, probably second round, but I'd take that. You get the money off your salary cap and stuff like that. Actually, I don't know what their contracts are, so I can't say the money off the salary caps, but it's not like they're going to have to keep paying him. In terms of that, the most frustrating thing is, like, if we're going to be totally realistic, the Knicks are, like, I can't even give a timetable when they're going to be, like, good again. I honestly thought going into the season they should have a pretty good team, but the dysfunction continues with this franchise, and it continues to go down the wrong path. I don't know when it's going to end, when there'll finally be some good stuff happening for the Knicks, maybe a new owner, maybe, but that's really it. Nothing really more to talk about on that. It's disappointing. Obviously not happy that I'm basically rooting for them to lose. That's just the ironic point of view that my mind has to get into now. Other than that, thanks for watching. If you have any interest in writing for us, editing videos, anything that you think could help us, contact TheSportUniverse2019@gmail.com. And other than that, thanks for watching. Bye.